6, woo! And now they're just like, wait, we just won this game. We got top 4, we got top 4. We also had B4 across the stage. It's like, I don't, he's like, he almost said, like, I hope we lose, because, like, to quote him, so it was like, I don't think I can handle Swindle's ego getting any bigger. Yeah. straight from mouth of the manager. Like we can't deal with our captain if he actually starts winning more games. I'd hate to think what would happen. Like, you'd almost have like two years worth of eco just off a TI victory if you could ever achieve it.
Oh man, you imagine that? The passion from this guy, you've got to love it.
I can imagine it. I just don't know if it'll ever become reality. Alright, so off we go into the lanes. As far as our lanes go, it will be Howl down to that bottom lane. We'll be playing up the role as a lone Druid. Kaka supporting as the Phoenix will be the mid laner. We've got Schwindels. It'll be the Batrider in for the off lane. As far as the mid lane matchups, it will actually be Chessie with that PMS early on. Z-Freak will be his rotator. Hunskin supporting as well early on. He's already got that very early bottle for complexity, and that just leaves the top lane. KP, our Australian, going to the off lane. They'll be babysat by Chuan, who normally likes to get aggressive with his Enchantress, and they'll be going up against Limp, who is the safe lane Axe, and that's pretty much how our lanes roll out.
Yeah. Well, the big, I guess, main question early on is Moo going Quaz Wex or Quaz Exhort? I slightly prefer the Quaz Wex here. I think you want to go something a bit more defensive against the laning aggression of a PA. There's a lot of kill power coming out from PA, and a Quaz Exhort has no disengage. He goes on you can cold snap him, but ideally you want to have a Tornado and EMP to kind of threaten Chesty should he go on you. And I think with the pace of this game, you've got pushing power coming out from Lone Druid, Beastmaster, Enchantress. You don't need more firepower from an Exort Invoker.
I really want to also keep my my left eye at least up on this top lane. See how KP and Limp battle this one out. Who actually gets the early advantage here? Because Limp, like, he wants to force KP out of this lane if possible, away from the fours, but KP's pretty good. He can play fairly defensive here. The Great Wave's going to push to him. The Axe can't hold it back.
Yeah, he should get a decent amount of farm and XP out of this lane. Has gone for a Ring of Protection. The counter Helix being pure damage does mean that the high base armor of the Beastmaster, the Ring of Protection, isn't going to deal with that counter Helix damage like it may be used to. But still, you go for the Tranquils, then you've got the HP regen to sustain.
Enchantress going to come in towards the middle lane. Hunskin, Chesty backed up far enough. The Stomp will be able to connect, but Chesty realized what was happening. That was the first smoke maneuver of Chuan. And Hunskin backed up so Chesty could just Phantom Strike away. Very, very difficult to kill mid lane. However, on the other side, if Chesty blinks forward and gets to the other side of the Invoker, you're going to have that tether slow, and you're going to have Moo having Ghost Walk up your sleeve.
Yeah, and Hanskin is going to go for another double stack here in the Dire Jungle. There is a ton of farm waiting for either Swindles on the bat or the Axe. Doesn't really matter which. It's more just the fact that the economic game is going to heavily favor complexity this rate. As I say that, he misses both the stacks, so perhaps there isn't going to be a two. I mean, he hit the double stack already. He missed the triple stack on both cams, but
you gotta stop cursing the players. Limp, are you? He's got KP low, and he's gone for this early point up in Battle Hunger and the 2 points up in the spin. So it's nice that he's at least got some kind of harassment, but Chuan, it's a dead creep anyway. It was about to time out, so he's not going to lose anything from that. I'm actually thinking, like, it should probably be Swindles that goes up into the jungle, because it lets Z-Freak get levels on this off-lane. He's got to feel fairly comfortable, because who really stops Z-Freak on this bot lane? It's a fairly comfortable lane for him.
Yep. So he's got the escape. How going to have to resummon his bear in the bottom lane, but that's okay for him, assuming he doesn't die in the next minute or two, which without a third hero rotating down bottom should not happen.
I think it's to find, I would say more CS. Like, he's got 9 CS this early on. EMP, Tornado in the mid lane, Chesty. Well, he's out of mana now.
Yeah. Both these players with Soul wants to fall back on, and the Io with the bottle means he can heal up Chessie's mana pool as well.
Yeah.
Moo with just 3 CS, by the way. That's actually the big story this early game. He is getting absolutely beat down mid. The problem with the Quaz Wex Invoker is you just don't have any damage last hit with, and because he goes for a magic wand, he doesn't have like a starting item, either Null Talisman or Blades of Attack, to give him some bonus damage to help last hit with. So PA with 4 mana healed, currently seeing on 62 damage. Moo with just, well, 54, not bad. Yep. But unable to get close enough to get the blast hits. He's just having an off game as well. He should have probably around at least 10 CS in this matchup, but every now and then you just have one of those bad CS in games.
He needs the rotation from Chuan to do something. That first rotation fail is probably more of a landmark moment that we gave it credit for, where Chuan's influence on the map has been fairly minimal. Bottom lane, they're going to have a little bit of a tussle right now with Kaka. Swindles right behind him. Kaka, well, there's your kick. He needs to Icarus dive himself away, but he's already ticking out.
It's Io at the top rune.
What?
Both teams committing a lot of heroes to go for the runes, and man, does Kaka play that well. He just makes sure he gets the rune. It was very close to dying, but Newbee rotating in 3 heroes top lane, and in lieu of all players getting the first blood, he now has a first blood to go with his 5 CS. He has more farm from that first blood in 4 minutes than he does from the CS he's been getting, so that saves his lane.
How much you also telegraph the fact he doesn't want to rotate. He picks up both of that.
Yeah.
He picks up both of the blades of attack, realizing he needs more damage before he gets his boots.
Yep.
Limp's also having a hard time. Chorn's now having an influence up here. It's the Harpy, which has just dropped Limp down low and forced him into this this early salve. He's got the Ring of Health. Limp's going to go for an early Vanguard. It's still not that bad for complexity. First blood happens, it's over on your IO. It gives him a little bit of a way back, but he still hasn't gone into double digits for CS until right now.
So we'll see what the next move's going to be. It looks like aggression coming up. Chuan, he denies his folder for his Mud Golem to get the double golem.
But unfortunately for him, like with the TP on from Chessie, there is no way they want to dive this.
This is a good forced rotation though. It means the Invoker now has a easy lane to farm. The Handskin IO is there to at least leech experience, but Moo's going to get free farm while PA is gone. So very nice pressure coming out from Chuan, even though he doesn't get a kill here.
A lot of waste of time over on Chessie. And then they just do it again.
Look at the vision. They've got Hawks on both the south and north side of this top tier 1 tower. They see everything and they want to go for this dive with Kaka having rotate up top. 2 points in Sunray. Tornado. This is a hard gank to escape for Limp.
Limp just needs to leave.
Yeah, he got out just in time.
He kind of knew this was going to happen. Without the TP in from Chessie, you would rely on a relocate, but Hanskin's still just shy of level 4. So they don't have the ability to bring in all the support and be really hyper-aggressive on the lane. In fact, now Limp, under cover of Sunray, he's being affected by Tornado as well. Chuan going to enchant him, slowing him up. Here comes Hanskin, the Roar being committed as well. Hanskin needs to give more life to Limp and keep him alive. He's jumping there, now the EMP for a move. Tether was following to hold him down with a kick forward from Deepring. KP's in trouble. Limp will get the Culling Blade off. Hanskin will be the sacrifice. Now Swindle moves over. Moo, a wonderful tornado, but the Flame Break keeps him in the middle of this fight. He's already had a hard enough time. He just got space in the middle prime play catch up, but he'll lose himself. He'll lose the Beastmaster. And Chuan, best of luck. Untouchable, only level 1. Swindle's like finishing his napalm with the Firefly. It's actually a double kill for Chessie. The complexity coming in force.
Yeah, Hanskin just where he needs to be. The Axe staying alive as long as he did, but Newbee were just overcommitting it. It's one of those fights like, this is such a Newbee-like play to go for this aggression up here.
Top lane, Limp, he's in trouble. Sunray turns on. You're so confident, you feel you've got this one in the bag, but Kaka, damage is just so huge on that level 2 Sunray that you find the kill over on the Axe.
I think the big problem for that aggression at top for Newbee is that normally characterizes their play and works out great for them, but this is one of the first times we see how on a carry that doesn't rotate. He wants to just sit bottom, farm up his Midas, get his Radiance timing. It's not a Life Stealer, it's not a Spectre, it's not a Sven. It's not one of these heroes that just normally how he's keeping top and joining that fight, but because he's on a lone Druid, Newbee have not really adjusted the rest of their heroes' play accordingly. That aggression top doesn't work when Hao can't rotate.
They may also just be thinking from the other side, it's like, okay, well, if we have aggression top, we create space for him, but Swindle didn't really miss out on much. Like, he TV back straight away and took a full creep wave worth of experience. But Hao tried to punish as a lone Druid. He couldn't get himself an entangle, and he was underneath the 1 tower. So, life's a little bit harder for him. Swindles needs to get that Blink Dagger. Limp's back into farming at the moment. He actually, he's still a way off having that Vanguard completed.
Farm some of the stacks in the jungle or falling back towards this top lane, but
that's a lot of heroes coming towards him. Hanskin tethers off cooldown in 2 seconds time, but 2 seconds may be too long. And in fact, whoa, will it be no? Yes, Beastmaster KP. He was not taking no for an answer. They really wanted that kill.
He was on 5 HP when that roar went out, but unless the boar right click was going to reach him, which I'm not 100% sure on, they actually had to use that roar to steal that kill. Perhaps the boar was in range to attack.
It's just a 4-man rotation into mid lane for Newbee, which like nets you an IO kill. And Chessie then instantly turns the aggression on Moo. He got the crit. He's got Stifling Dagger in 1 second time. He won't get the crit from that, and Moo has to go invis. They burn the mana of Moo, and this will actually force Moo all the way back to base.
He's just happy to have survived. The Invoke cooldown just coming up in time for him to get into the Ghost Walk. If that Stifling Dagger had crit or one more right-click coup de grace came out, it would have been kill on Invoker and a solo kill at that. He goes for the infused raindrops on Moo to give himself some extra survivability in this mid lane against the PA.
Vandals, welcome to the top lane. Instantly stunned, instantly bored. This is like the D push that Complexity had. That was one of our concerns we have with Complexity. They wouldn't be able to hold on to their tier 1 towers. But with Firefly down, the creep waves normally disappear pretty quickly. Best farm as well for Wendell.
He's been hit by the Sentinels on top.
Yeah, Z3 makes a little bit of space, however, keeping Sean out of the fight. The board's up, they know when TP's coming in. He gets himself up into the tree line. He's still being hunted by the Sentinel, but Tessie comes in. Chris over on Tarka. There is no Nova yet. KB also low on life with the movement for the Roar. Tries to push back Complexity. You lose your Io and the Beastmaster. The battles continue. Chessie chases towards the east. Moo being body blocked to the left. Now the call will be there. Last hit from Swindles will be committed. Z3 stays nearby. TA's finish up Sean in the meantime, and Moo now goes invis. They didn't actually work out which way he went. The boulder goes the wrong direction. And Moo just has to weed it out. He can't TP out to safety. But it's a 2-for-1 trap. Again, the Io, the only sacrifice. 4 out of the 5 kills of Newbee have all been on the Io.
And again, we see Newbee, their aggression at this top lane, the hero they initially go on, surviving. Last time it was the Axe, this time it's the Batrider. The EMP not latching onto Swindles meant they didn't have the damage and the mana burn, and that really cost them there. This is still all space for How to continue farming. He's at this bottom lane, has Midas, has 1700 gold, so if you're looking at like the Newbee side of things, yeah, the aggression's going as well as you'd hope for, but at least there is that plan B, the plan that is How farming away.
But they have to be ready to deal with the double blink daggers which are arriving for Complexity. As Lent's going to farm up this Ancients after he stacks it, he'll have his blink dagger and Swindles. He's about to stack up as well. He's actually looking for the double stack until the tree line spawns on him the second he attempts it. It looks like he'll still be successful, however. But with this farm, the double blink daggers are up, and we're only going to be 12 minutes into the game before they look for a fight.
Yeah, double blinks on these two cores is very scary to deal with. This is where their timing is coming pre-Radiance. So COL, we're looking to even send aggression down towards this bottom lane. Force How either to fall back to his jungle or and take this bottom tier 1 tower. If you can push bottom, it's like C, you not only limit the Lone Druid's farm, but you take over this Radiant jungle, potentially setting up additional follow-up kills.
I love how one Cycling Dagger can actually remove a quarter of the life of Moo.
Yeah, it's brutal.
That just happened to him in the mid lane as Chessie, like, it was always one of the nice upsides about like Phantom Assassin. The fact that even if your lane was going bad, you could farm with like a 15 mana cost Stifling Dagger, which is capable of doing like terrible amounts of damage.
The new changes to Stifling Dagger do mean that this spell scales a lot better as the game drags on.
This is what you're actually forced to do. Use Sunray to heal up Moo. So Kaka just does this in the tree line, doesn't show it to Chessie.
Nope,
and Complexity are actually on the hunt. They got their first blink dagger up, so the brothers will team up, and they are looking for the lone druid.
How's like spidey senses tingling. He's like, okay, they've got to have that. This is just him understanding the timings of Complexity. He knows that it's about that time where these blinks are going to come online. He doesn't even finish the Ogre Cap. He's already transitioned even deeper into his own jungle, partially to use the Midas on the big satyr, but he has completely eluded this smoke gank with the blink daggers. Great understanding. And the big reason this works is because Newbee have aggressive vision. These two wards in the dire jungle, less about setting up kills, but more about scouting out the fact that Bat's not farming the jungle. If Batrider isn't farming these jungle camps, where is he? He's trying to get your lone druid.
Complexity realizes something is awry. Then pulling back over on Limp as well as Huntskin. They get back past the tier 2 tower. Chessie's now actually moving. Okay, they even put an observer ward between the tier 1 and tier 2 tower. Complexity are looking towards that mid lane to try and find out where Newbee is. They know they're smoked up. They're standing around as well, Newbee, trying to find Complexity, but they find no one.
Yeah, this is great for Newbee. It's How who has rotated all the way up top. Doesn't even try and stay in this jungle. This is just great awareness and rotations from Newbee, avoiding blink daggers. You've had the blinks up from on Limp as well as Swindles, and they yet to find that pickoff. They're just kind of sitting around idly in the enemy jungle and around the mid lane, and it's Newbee. Yeah, they're also kind of grouping up as 5, not farming all that efficiently, but that favors them because they want to just slow things down, not complete the fights they're trying to initiate.
It looks like they're actually going to give them a fight. It's a full 5-man maneuver towards that tier 2 tower, and Complexity is the question now. Do you want to react? Limp can be relocated up. Swindles is on his way. You've also got Z-Free coming out from the tier 3 tower on the top lane. So they're preparing themselves to fight. Thorn's Enchantress army, plus their Observer Wards they've got aggressively planted down, does see a lot of this. But a forced rotation, they're still not fully committed to Complexity. They're actually creeping it. Now they've got it. Where's that relocate? The DPs are on the way, but Swindle's already burnt down. Chessie comes into the front line. He'll be pushed back out by the Savage Roar. The Phoenix egg right in the middle of Complexity, but the tornado! They need to hit it. They bring down the Nova. They will have that to fight with, and now Chessie can go ham. He looks for the kill over on Chuan. Takes a little bit longer to hit with the flame break and the kick. They find the pickoff. KP successfully TP's out. Tier 2 town is defended, and again, Io, the only casualty.
No, the bat died and fought back.
Oh, he fought back as well?
Yeah, that's actually a great exchange for Newbee. They just lose their supports there. That almost goes incredibly well. If that Supernova goes off, it's a heavily won Newbee team fight. But even with the Phoenix and the Enchantress dying, Newbee are so happy about that. Their cores get out of there. House already back to farming, picks up a relic. The TP bottom from Moo, he's going to continue his item progression. And Complexity commit a lot of resources. Yeah, they defend the tower, but they don't get anything really out of it. They don't get to transition into a push off of this. So overall, Newbee come out very happy from that one. They're going to have to kind of quickly go into kind of some aggressive play into the Radiant jungle. They've got vision down bottom, as well as the mid lane. They need to use their wards to find kills, to find pickoffs using their blink daggers.
Jesse's going in for a kill now. They find KP. They'll start Blink Dagger, gives the vision to go up. Karka, he's going to try and keep him alive, however, with that Sunray. KP around the corner. The Observer was there and a perfect kick, actually stopping KP from getting the roar off. And Swindles, he wants more. Blink Dagger's on cooldown. They're searching for Karka, but Karka, he had an Invis rune sitting in the bottom river. So he is perfectly alright, and they can't work out exactly what the hell happened to him, but now they just overall move, was able to reach it. Swindles keeps that vision up. The Firefly will wear off the moment. EMP Tornado creates a little bit more space, move into that tree line, and now you'll go Invis, but the crit, the damage is there. They bring down the Invoker. Complexity finally finds something on the map, but still out farming.
Yeah, a bit sloppy from Moo, letting them rotate towards bottom. Like, he knew exactly where they got the pick off on Beastmaster in the jungle, and then he just stayed too long in the bottom lane without a TP. He was pushed up, he had to fall back to the shop to buy it, and that's much better for Complexity. They get a pick off, and they're able to get a tower to follow this one up. Trade-off is some farm and Hal finishing his Radiance up top, but overall, that's the kind of exchange you're hoping for in that position for Complexity. But it's really the first big win for them all game long. Up until now, it's been a bit of a kind of trade-off where Newbee are getting slightly more.
Hello, Chuan. Called out inside the giant jungle, but there's a lot more help coming. Hunskin can relocate in, but a call absolutely perfect from Limp, locked into. Tully plays one. House still in the neighborhood, but it's Karka who's dying a little bit further down. He actually is forced into the Nova. Swindle don't think he can actually finish that one, but Howl the top in the top river. Chessie would love to fight it, just needs an extra crit, and there she is. Helps to get the kill. Phoenix egg burn. Moo only back to life and farming at the bottom lane with another 3 quick kills coming in for Complexity.
And just Limp with the fast blink call, preventing the Beastmaster getting the roar off, meant that Newbee just weren't getting their big spells off. And Newbee getting caught split up here. They're very much... When they were pushing that top tier 2 tower, the reason that works out so well for them, they get that great trade where they kill the Batrider, they don't get the tier 2, but they fall back and only lose their support because their group's as high. Complexity's lineup is fantastic at picking apart heroes when they're by themselves. You've got the relocate, you've got the 2 blink initiators, you've got this PA who's a good gap closer as well. We have to go back to what was working, with just much more slow pace, 5 when Complexity missing from the map, and then fall back and farm when Complexity comes to defend their towers. But Complexity finding some great initiations there and managed to start pulling ahead a little bit.
And it looks like Complexity will try and use that newfound strength to go even further. He's lining himself up for the mid. Also, looking at him, currently walking around with a Claymore. Just the bonus damage for now when he goes into a Battle Fury, or do we think about...
Battle Fury is a fantastic item because you don't have good wave clear. Your lineup isn't going to scale great into the late game without a Battle Fury, so I think falling backward after the phase drums is the right call. Oh, they smoke up and sneak their way into Roshan. This is likely to go completely undetected.
Complexity, they don't actually have a scan available either, so they can't look for this.
I think they just use their scan. behind like the mid-tier 1 tower, I believe I saw, and there's this Radiant Ward scouting out the smoke. They know they could be coming their way, but they'll finish Roach in time, and they can take this team fight.
Here they come. Swindle gets the Firefly, and there's the jump. He grabs through, the roll will be there. Swindle sacrificing himself to get the call, the kick. Keeps churning out the fight, killing off Blue as well. And they have enough damage for this. Z-Freak on the front lines, the bear is ripping him apart, and Owl wants to go to work the Nova as well from Kaka, standing up over on Limp. Limp will fall as well. You burned the Aegis, the Immortal, and Chesty, can he do more damage? He wants to kill off KB. He's having some real issues as he keeps getting hit by the fairies, as Chesty has a blink away, down to the river. Swindles, he'll die from the fall of the tornado. The Complexity have lost multiple heroes, as they do burn the Aegis to the Immortal. And they keep Chesty alive, so maybe not a complete loss, but still Newbee. They take an advantage.
Not a complete loss. Moo had to buy back as well, but that's the kind of fight which Newbee will take any day of the week, considering they were behind by a couple thousand gold. They get the Roach money, they're going to fold up with a tier 2 tower as well. And Axe and Bat, neither hero with buyback means that there's no feasible way to end this with Complexity. Chesty is just dominating these team fights. They have no real good way of killing off the PA.
She actually gets a Battle Fury and a BKB, like, Newbee are going to have real issues on their hands.
Yeah. It was really well played by the IO plus PA. They managed to, because Kaka, he got up a great sunray, he put the egg onto above the Roshan pit, but PA fought away from the egg. He made sure that they weren't going to get tremendous value out of that supernova. He caught out the backlines, killed them one by one, and then kind of re-engaged after the egg had already blown up. But problem is, by then, the Axe was already dealt with. Batrider kind of got taken out initially by the Roar, so Batrider not having a 4-star there makes it a lot harder for Flexi initiate, because even though he catches the Invoker, there's that fast Roar to prevent him pulling the Invoker into his team.
There's the Battle Fury. Chesty. We'll see how much that lone Druid can keep up with the farm rate as well overall, Chesty. Obviously not as brilliant as an anti-mage being able to jump from camp to camp, but okay. So Kaka also wants to go for a Hand of Midas.
Yeah, he wants that level 2 supernova as fast as possible. Homes of experience, there's actually one in stock, so we'd like to see that perhaps being purchased by Kaka.
Complexity, Limp gets the call, 4-star away, dragging Kaka out of his hiding spot, and Chesty jumps in. They're going to kill him off before the Nova can hit Kaka. No, they didn't finish the job. They wanted back out, they thought they were a little bit too deep. Swindles will die with a roar around. The Enchantress is able to get enough damage to kill him off. Complexity's initiation not really working out.
And the IO's coming back in too, with the relocate.
Yeah, he'll tether away. Chesty keeps his distance so the tether will work.
It was a great set. How saves the Phoenix there with the Savage Draw onto Chesty. Plexi just, it looked like Chesty was going to be able to finish off the Phoenix kill with the silence and the stun coming out of Earth Spirit. Causing all sorts of trouble, but a great Savage Draw.
They're going in deeper, and Chesty, he just initiates. He runs in, he goes over on Moose. They'll need a little bit of help. The test will be there from Hunkin. Now with the ball forward from Z-Freak, he turns on the Magnetite, but there's no real target focus here from Complexity. It's almost like they're trying to kill off all of Newbee at the same time. Obviously will not be effective. Not without a whole bunch of crits coming in from Chesty.
Sunray used time to disengage Newbee. No Raw, no Sunray for a little bit.
No secondary bear either if they lose that.
They'll back off some and happy with the one pick off onto Swindle's Batrider.
I actually thought Newbee was going to get a lot more from that fight. I suppose they still get space and time.
They had to commit their Raw and Supernova to the initial fight under their tier 1 tower where they killed the Bat, so the follow-up fight they just didn't have key ultimates, and the PA looked like he might have been in some trouble when Chesty initiated in, but the Sunray being slightly on cooldown meant that he could get away with that aggression.
I'm surprised they backed up as well. Was it just because Chesty was slowed down? Or was it the Fire Spirits that actually slowed him down?
Yeah, the Fire Spirits are really starting to plague him a bit in these fights, and Phoenix is actually, maxing out the Fire Spirits, only sticking with the 1 point in the Icarus dive.
That's only going to be the case until Chesty finishes this BKB.
Yeah,
and he just picked up the Ogre Club.
Yeah, as he has to, so a logical item choice. Into the Phoenix, Invoker, I mean, all these heroes you need a BKB against to some extent. The Beastmaster has the Raw to go through, the Enchantress has Impetus, but there's enough other annoying spells that BKB becomes essential for Chesty.
Another thing which we were flagging during the drafting phase is the use of 4-stars. We've already seen it being a little bit useful. Now you've got double 4-stars, both Swindle as well as Limp have picked up early 4-stars, trying to kite out against Newbee.
Yep. Well, Moo has one himself, so that's going to help a lot against the PA, but Batrider, when he catches someone, they can pull him very far back.
And just get that advantage position. It's wonderful seeing 860 crits over on a ball. This is such a scary thing to play up against as well. It's also that, like, we talk about complexity being the king of random kind of thing. You never know exactly what you're going to get. And now Lim, well, he engages to drag the bear back a little bit further. They know it's still, like, it's the last bear. Tornado's going to miss. There's no control from that, but the wall will be there. Swindle push back a little bit from it as well. Now they get a good position over in the middle of complexity without heroes, which is really good at clearing it off. Jesse has to one charge and try and get away. In fact, Deepring kicked him out to safety. And now they lose 2. Complexity. This isn't the fight they were really searching for. But with the help of Hanskin, Chessie will disengage, but now they lose their tier 2.
Just the tiniest little details to make that fight go Newbee's way. KP gets the Raw before Swindles can lasso him. Swindles tried to blink on KP. If he gets the lasso before Raw, that fight goes entirely different. And similarly, Taka landing Fire Spirits on everyone. He just gets a Supernova smack dab next to the PA. PA can't even hit it because of the Fire Spirits, I believe, being maxed out, and the Midas paying off there. Level 2 Supernova. I'm not sure if he gets level 2 for that fight. He is level 11 now. I assume he probably was level 11 when he went for that Supernova, and they weren't even close to killing the egg.
Oh, Chessie, is this one way they can get some revenge? They're going to find Al trying to farm the Ancients, but nope, Savage Roar is available.
Phoenix tier 2 for a potential Sunray.
Alright, so now your complexity. Newbee are looking very, very powerful. They've taken a lot of good fights. They're pushed the net worth advantage up, even if they haven't got the advantage in experience just yet. Do you try and slow the game up, or do you just say, you know what, we've got to go more hyper-aggressive. We've got to get on the Blink Daggers and fight. What's the play?
You get your BKBs and then get aggressive. I think has to be the approach here. PA as well as Axe both need BKB. The Axe, yeah, he's not a right-clicking hero, but you want to have as many tools to kill this egg as possible. And just being able to BKB off the Fire Spirits means the Axe has a better chance of being kill the egg. Also means he's not going to get crippled by the Tornado EMP coming out from Moo. I think it's BKBs then go from the side of complexity, and they're hoping that they have those double BKBs before the next Roshan is up. It looks like PA should, yeah, PA will definitely have a BKB. Axe is a little bit further away.
Yeah. I'm wondering if 2 of the Swindles wants to go directly for that.
I believe he should. He's going to pick up a gem for now. He may just be thinking about having buyback, having the gem. He's much further away, but BKB is really the best item choice for him.
It's a Newbee group up. Like another smoke maneuver to come from Newbee. Once, yep, there she blows. Yep. And they're headed in towards the dire jungle.
No one showing the map, no one defending mid. This is one of those smokes which be a little bit apparent for complexity.
They see one. They see Z-Freak, but Z-Freak also saw the Hawk. He's been doing a really good job. He actually took out that first Hawk before. Okay, Z-Freak to the trees. Run away. He needs to boulder right now. Is that going to be a stun? Moo! Style slide into Tornado. Z-Freak will die. High-Man Smoke Gang will bring a reward.
And they're in a position to push high ground at top. But
actually, they have to relocate Chessie back. Chessie doesn't have a TP scroll on him.
And
so if you come back, you'll have to relocate him back in, then Hanskin will have to TP back to base.
Yeah, Newbee don't want to force a high ground push, not into the Batrider plus Axe initiation.
He drops the magic wand. They brought a TP on the courier. That's fine. And it brought his BKB as well.
Newbee are kind of hoping for a fast Roche respawn right now. They found the pick up on Earth Spirit. It's like, they'll poke their nose in. I mean,
it's almost 3 minutes.
They would have had to have been very, very lucky to have already. Oh, they're going to look to push up bottom. Probably sweep through the jungle to get some map control back. I think ideally, Newbee want to get a gem on someone. The Beastmaster wants to pick up his Blink Dagger first, but perhaps like Enchantress can buy the gem, or the Phoenix. Phoenix is getting just wards for now. So they get some ward sentries. They want to just make sure they have vision around the Roche pick. Because right now, Radiant vision is actually very lacking. And with Roche respawning sometime in the next 2 minutes, that's something Newbee has to solve.
They also need to know when they're being watched. This Observe ward, which is, it's going to time out in 1 minute and 22 seconds, which is just before Roshan will spawn up, is seeing the prep from Newbee. Roshan. And Newbee already have good control of the map. Like, they're 4 towers up at the moment.
Radiant's middle tower.
Maybe that's something else we should also look at when you see an advantage of about 3.5k gold, and you're still 4 towers up. Maybe not the greatest time in the world, and double BKBs are here for complexity. So they are willing and ready to fight Newbee. And Newbee should be aware that these item timings are approaching. They just may not know they've already arrived.
Yeah, there's a good chance that they've got to know that Chessie's BKB is coming. Perhaps Limps will catch them a bit more by surprise. But
is it actually the full wraparound?
If they can
get up far enough. There's a creep wave coming up in the wave, however, but the smoke's going to break. So here they come, complexity. In from behind Limp. Don't for the call. Already finds Swan. They want to get rid of him. The Nova's over the tree line too. There's a good position for it. Limp wants to focus it. The raw help to He's looking still on Hal. He's battling him, but he won't win. Kaka's Sunray is a little bit too powerful, keeping Hal up. And Z3 now they just keep diving complexity. This was meant to be their fight. This was meant to scream that the BKB don't give them enough.
It was their fight, but Kaka got he reacted so fast with that dive. The second the smoke popped and Newbee is jumping into them, the axe blinked past the Phoenix, which was probably the first. I think if axe goes on the Phoenix, fight, but he goes on the back, he goes on the like the 4 heroes, and then it dwindles, trying to blink left to the Phoenix, but he dives away too fast, and Kaka wins them that fight. Axe is trying to buy some time now. They play a relocate, but Kaka's the hero of that fight. The healing and sustain that he gave his team, as well as the perfect play Supernova, completely ruined complexity. What a play coming out from the Phoenix Specialist.
Yeah, we talk about how Complexity had such great vision across the map. They didn't really have good vision of what was happening over in that tree line. You almost needed a Tinker Ward for Complexity prepare for that one properly. So it was a bit of like, we hope blind luck.
Yep.
We hope we find the right target. Now, a big contestant, a point of contestant. That word. Complexity, they have to control Roshan. They cannot let Newbee get Nagus Immortal as well, or else breaking high ground is going to be even easier for Newbee.
Newbee themselves going to be well aware of that, and they've got a lot of money to spend on some of these heroes. 4k on Phoenix, 2.4k on Invoker. His Aghanim Scepter almost complete. Phoenix likely see a Shiver's Guard. His key pickup.
Jesse, he's going to get a lot of crits. The Bear's coming in. Savage Roar tries to split it up. Roshan's only down by Bastard. The Roar is over on left. The Bear focuses down to him. What a Nova position. Inside the pit, they can't even get rid of it. But in a world of power right now, the egg will hit the deck. Lift to BKB trying to protect him. So is Hanskin. But KP as well as Moo, they're all over it. They're going to find 2 quick kills here. The buyback comes out from the Eye, but the Sunray. Hanskin's just working from inside the pit. It's a big fight for Newbee. It is Darcy a slaughter. D-Freak has to ball himself away. Hanskin try to help that. He'll end up defeating his own life. 4 heroes down, that's including the dieback out from the IO.
Kaka MVP with just how much he does. It's not damage up, it's sustained, it's the perfectly placed. He does the most damage of his team while also probably doing all the healing for his team, while also controlling the PA in BKB. That Supernova stun limits that BKB duration of the PA, and everything about Kaka's team fight is just impeccable.
That's MVP. That's what it is right now. Newbee looking absolutely amazing, and with that Aegis Immortal, as we said, it's the risky kind of thing that Complexity has to deal with. You now have Hal, the Immortal one, but they're here to take out a bottom racks, and this will cripple Complexity. I don't know if it's completely beyond repair, but it definitely ain't looking good for the Americans.
Kaka can buy a full Shiver's Guard. He's got the recipe on the Courier and everything. We're going to go for at least the bottom lane of racks here. Oh, look like they may want to try and engage. They're smoked up. They're trying to catch him on the retreat, knowing that Newbee are likely to TP some heroes back.
Oh, the Courier's coming in too. He actually takes out the Shiva's Guard as it was flying in. He still has BKB, so he's still going to be willing to fight. But who does he go on? He actually completely leaps out. Limp a great double call. Looking for Kaka and KP. The spins are working. Gets the dunk as well. Complexity. Rebuttal kills as Newbee tried to escape out, but they still lost bottom ranks. They still lost a lot before. It's almost like a consolation prize. That's why they search for even more, relocating in aggressively onto Newbee. At least Tessie can mop up this tier 1 town. There's no fortification to stop this, so they get even more out after the fight.
They do reclaim their gem as well. Tessie unfortunately couldn't. I think the Stifling Dagger actually misses in Invis because it gets out of the gem detection range, but Newbee still going to be happy to have taken the full lane of racks. The big thing, Cole's way to approach a fight has to be initiate on Kaka's Phoenix. Like, catch him either with the lasso or the blink call and then blow him up. PA has to follow it up with a blink. Hope for just a crit to be able to blow the Phoenix up before he can get off any of his spells. Because if they can do that, win the fight.
Yeah. At least there's a light at the end of the tunnel for maybe Complexity. Big battling Chessie, the ability to still get good calls off. However, Newbee's lead is definitely stretching well into the stars. Power gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Top net worth over 20k now for him.
And all three, like the 3 at the bottom for Complexity are heroes that aren't going to necessarily offer a lot going late game. Like Z-Freak's Earth Spirit, I guess he's still useful just because he can be the solution to the Phoenix in some ways. If you catch him out, you can guarantee a stun or a silence and be able to guarantee that he doesn't just dive out of there or even continue to Sunray. So Earth Spirit has to kind of just play around the Phoenix going late game, but Swindles is not going to have a BKB anytime soon, and a bit of a worry going into the late game for a Batrider.
I like this item finally arriving over on Hanskin. I wasn't entirely certain who was going to grab it, but it's going to be the Vladimir's offering now coming in. Normally you see some level of lifesteal over on Chesty, so you have that higher sustain during the fights. But this will free up Chesty to go for even more damage if he wants to. And he'll need to. Like, it needs to be a Monkey King buff. Battling up against that evasion is making life a little bit more difficult for him.
Yeah, wants to combat the Radiance, but thinking maybe a Basher would come out to help deal with the Phoenix, but he's probably just going to have to hope and rely on his team to catch. Realistically, it's just if his team catches the Phoenix, he can help blow the Phoenix up, and the Basher or no Basher won't matter if he has pure damage, so B will definitely give him a big boost here. For Newbee, they'll slow things down with the 1 Rax advantage, probably just pick up. They're going to wait for the Courier. I mean, the Courier has a full Shiver's Guard on point to try and smoke out, take a team fight now.
Yeah. You got 10 seconds till that Courier is up and then travel time.
Yeah. And even, it looks like the Spirit Bear about to pick up an MKB itself, so now they can deal with the PA's evasion on the side of Newbee.
I'm wondering, like, who's going to end up winning in that fight? Phantom Assassin versus the Spirit Bear?
I guess depends on the supporting cast, really. Like, it depends on how much the Sunray, how much damage the Sunray can do, whether Jesse will get caught out by the Supernova stun or not, how many crits you get. Yep. Newbee's smoking up now. I thought they might want to wait for the Phoenix's level 16, but if he finds a big Midas creep, I guess he can get level 16.
Unfortunately, none of the creeps are spawned up on right now. Dude, don't block it. And each team is scanning.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not certain exactly who. I think it's Newbee scanning up inside. Actually, no, is that Complexity scanning their own jungle? It seems a little odd. Volvo, please, give us indication of who was actually scanning.
Yeah, both teams just use their scans like at the same time.
Yeah, so there's no way we could actually tell the difference. Just one scans Dire Side, the other one scans Radiant Jungle.
Game's in beta, Toby. Just relax.
Oh. Limp, there's your call. Again, they try and bait this bear in deep. They can get the crit, they get the control. EMP Tornado will actually be used to buy space for the bear, but even then, it's going to go down. They Sunray to keep it alive. Now, Sunray's on cooldown, and the bear has to be resummoned.
Man, that's a fun way to kill a Spirit Bear very effectively with very minimal risk.
How much does it almost feel like a lasso?
Yeah.
It's almost exactly the same effect as you'd have for a lasso.
Limp is
but all you do is you commit a call, and you commit a 10-second cooldown ability.
Yeah, Limp is like, this is how you play the Batrider Initiator Swindles. Should learn. And it's better he initiates, because he's the one who's got the BKB to protect him. If Swindles blinks in, he's got no real defensive capabilities.
Also, when you initiate, you get bonus 40 armor straight away. So if Newbee wants to try and fight you, hey,
if they get a roar on Axe, it's like, well, he's super tanky during that roar and likely to survive.
Yep. So Newbee, have to play this carefully. No, wait, we're past the timer. We're past the timer. So no throw push up onto the hill.
And Newbee possibly will just look to kind of take map control, secure next Roshan, but it's not easy to do that. The gem did go back the way of Complexity, so no gem picked up just yet. Newbee is something they want to consider. This stage when you're the one pushing out, and another bear catch.
Yep. Dragon in, now Swindles. Okay, they do the double dragon. And this is a secondary bear. They can get rid of this, which they should be able to. In fact, Newbee, yeah, they're sacrificing it. The kick is there, and Chelsea just goes ham. So now there's no lone Druid bear for 34 seconds.
That's okay. They'll have at least, like, it's not like a Complexity can punish a lot for this. That even if they push things out, one bear before any fight's going to take place.
And you just use the lasso too, yeah. So it's like bear and lasso at the same time. Yeah. It's not terrific, but it's something. And now, well, okay. Cycling Dagger blinked up. Yep, they got the ward on the hillside with Z-Freak support. Well, he's looking for the kick, now flies through, but it won't matter. When Chesty can get hits like that, that Phoenix dies very, very quickly.
And that's why you want to gem if you're in Newbee's position. That's the kind of pick-off that just shouldn't be given to Complexity, but it happens because that ward
it's almost a full duration too.
Yeah.
Like, he's got 40 seconds left on it.
When you're the ones in control who upper lane of Rax, you shouldn't be allowing your opponents to have that kind of mission. So, and I think partly it was in their mind like, oh, we had the gem for a while, we don't need to get another gem. We at least dewarded enough. But
Chesty needs to be going to try himself away from this one. Actually, he's going to BKB up. He was in the middle of an ice wall as well as EMP, so he had to do something.
Moo's not worried about dying when the PA turns with a BKB because he's got the 4 staffs. Just forces out a PA BKB, gets it down to a 7-second duration. That duration will matter the longer this game draws out. You're trying to fight late game into an Invoker, an Aghanim Scepter with a 5-second BKB, you're not going to have much fun.
Newbee are looking for the Observer Ward. They triggered the Necro box, they're looking for the Observer Ward, and it just timed out. They didn't have vision of the high ground either, so they fly the Beastmaster Hawk up and be like, wait, what? Is it on this hill? Nope. Is it on any of these hills?
It's one of those
like,
games,
is it back over? Is it over the tree line? It is gone.
They've scattered every possible position, so
So
at
they
that point
know
they're like,
it's timed out.
Yeah, you know, the PA literally daggered from the low ground onto the high ground, so that only happens with... The only way they get that vision is through wards. They don't have a Hawk or anything, or like a Night Stalker or anything.
The funny thing is though, like, okay, so you don't find the ward. Now it looks like they're grouping up to go for another smoke, but they do at least have the Gem and True Sight over on Kaka, so they can have a bit of a peek for this. But they don't have Necropooks for a bit. They have to wait another 43 seconds for this. And notice 2 KP's built. He's not going for the blink. He's going for the refresher orb. Now after having the blink dagger, so they're gonna have that double lockdown, straight initiation with the secondary wave of Necros.
And against the BKBs, this is the right way. It makes him as much of a threat as Kaka, because if you go all in on Kaka, it's the Beastmaster who's gonna have 2 Raws to disable both PA as well as the Axe during that BKB duration.
Here's Roshan. Complexity is smoked up though. They're nearby.
Go, call already.
Yep. Z3 puts down the Observer Ward. Watch just how moving in and out. Of course, Newbee just put down the road Observer Ward on the right hill. They know that Roshan's there, and they also very much aware of the Chesty. Now with the completed helm of the Dominator, he's going to be looking for Satanic. He's looking to be immortal, but it also means he can solo Roshan. They have to stay close.
Oh, they caught Swindles with the Tornado. Radiant damage as well.
More 4-star Swindles. No. He doesn't get up on the hillside. Fireflies, the Flame Break buys his space. Not enough. Not with the Razor Tessie. Shows it from behind KP. Perfect roar on Tessie. They're doing so much damage to over as well. This is a win. Newbee got a 5, but Tessie! Huge over on Swan. The stun from Limp is too early. Sean won't die. Tessie is dropping to blink himself out of the stun ray. Kaka trying to wield that huge power. He's looking for the hit. Z-Freak will burn. He'll get one last magnetize off. The impedance damage, not enough to kill off Hanskin. He'll relocate back out. Sean, he'll survive through that. And Hanskin, barely TP's out in time.
Could have gone worse for COL. Could have gone a whole lot worse. Kaka gets another fantastic supernova. He couldn't quite chase and keep tabs of the PA post-supernova with that stun ray. Otherwise, he could have almost just stopped the PA alone. And still Newbee, who come out heavily on top, so he's getting caught at the start of the fight. PA then getting raw on initiation just meant that Newbee such an initiation advantage, and that's what the Roshan had given them all the vision they needed to get those initiation spells off.
Life's become a little bit harder, however, for Complexity. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, no, I'm not wrong. Kaka as well as KP now have both the gems too.
Yeah.
So maintaining vision control was already difficult for Complexity because of the Beastmaster Hawk, but now it's almost impossible.
Yeah, they can rebuy. There is a gem available to them. So Io, who's 30 gold short, may look to buy one as soon as they can afford it. And against Invoker with Ghostwalk, I think you want to just make sure you have a gem. You're in the late game. Anytime a gem is available to you against an hero, even when there's no invis heroes, just against wards, you want to have one. Dust and sentries, they cost. You're just going to keep spending money on them. They're also not entirely reliable. You can BKB, purge off dust. Sentries have limited range, so should be looking to rebuy gem as soon as possible.
Medic, Kaka.
Bears as well, perhaps.
That Bear's got lifesteal. I don't think he even needed to move Sunray. Limp jumps in. It was really looking for. Remember though, Limp's very, very tanky when he goes to such initiation. And the kick from Z-Freak creates a lot of space. They even relocate save.
And both Force Staffs are on cooldown. It's a small window where Swindles can't really go in until he has Force Staff again. They've got to wait 10 seconds. The Bear doesn't work.
There's your jump in with a call over on the Bear. All of them. Hanskin back in. That EMP burn. Limp and Hanskin will drop low. The Cabal touch and one touch from Swindles. Called up. He won't survive from this one. In comes Kaka again into the Nova. The call is perfect from Limp. However, watch the spins go. He needs to get these figures done. The Bear is out for Kaka. The Supernova hits the perfect time. Now isolating Limp on the front line. Another call with the damage from Quan. He just sits in the back lines doing it all. They need more damage here. And Tetsu's not providing, especially when he's entangled. Has the Phantom Strike himself away to Hans to keep him inside space. Z-Freak again with the Magnetize. Pushes himself away with his own boulder. He'll end up surviving it. Ern as well is ready to put on him, and Chessie. He'll break the Aegis, the Immortal, but he's empty with no BKB charge. Burning to the Sun Ray. Hansman can't keep him alive, and this may be the last roll of the dice right now for Complexity. He'll buy back on the PA. He's keeping outside the base. They want to try and fight here with Chessie, but he still has no BKB.
And he's got no follow-up, so if he chases there, he's chasing into 3 heroes who can just stand their ground and turn and fight to bring him down, so... costly buyback, but an essential one, because if he doesn't there, the lone Druid just takes the mid lane of Rax, and we see Newbee come out on top. There was a nice couple of heroes grouped up for the PA just to cleave on through with crits, but quite have the sustain he needed, and Chessie has got to just complete that Satanic as soon as he can to give him that extra bit of oomph in these team fights.
Is that really, like, enough oomph? Like, they just need more damage at this point. It's...
I guess sustain, in theory, gives you damage, because kind of, if you stay alive longer, you're dishing out more damage, but he's often being controlled during the Satanic is the problem. If 5 BKB makes his life very rough. But I think having Refresh, he's got 300-ish damage, and with crits it's very big. So I think Satanic works, but he's Blade of Alacrity for now, so... what does this mean? Diffusal, perhaps?
Yeah, that's where my mind first went.
Diffusal against the Ghost Scepter on
meant to at least let him break free of things like Entangle and such.
There's 2 Ghost Scepters on the side of Newbee, so...
Yeah, Diffusal, like, if he's gonna find those kills on Lone Druid as well as over on Enchantress, yeah, it's a full Diffusal Blade. He needs to inflict the damage. It's still not bad. It still gives him damage, but doesn't give him the survivability you're looking for. But if he does complete up the Satanic, he's still got the increase in HP and potentially goes to town.
I think one of the rough things for Complexity is they've got these cores who all have BKBs. I guess Swindles doesn't, but they don't have anyone who can like get Lotus Orbs or Lincolns, because these are the items you ideally want to have against a Beastmaster Raw initiation, but there's nothing to kind of counterplay it.
Complexity.
Nothing to kind of counterplay it.
Complexity. They smoked on top of the Observer Ward while they're holding a Gem of Truth site. This kind of stuff, like it just completely, it's tilt. It's the moment where they've got to keep their minds focused.
They'll get some wards up at least. It's not going to be leading into any kind of kills, I imagine.
No, Newbee just back off the map. Let the bear do the scouting for them.
Cheese on Hal for the next fight still, so may have been consumed, but pressure.
There's the double wars.
Phoenix refresher. Oh my gosh, what is happening? This supernova from Kaka has been the big spell in all these fights, and there's going to be 2 of them. He can refresh his Sunray, which is also a really high impact spell, and I don't know. It's just so difficult, because like I kind of talked about earlier, like you've got to initiate on Kaka, but now with the double raw, it's not as simple as just saying, oh, go on Kaka, blow him up, because Beastmaster will then raw the PA, be it the bat or the axe, whoever initiates on Kaka is likely to get rawed, and then you just save the second one for the PA BKB.
This is a huge fight. If they can kill off PA as well, he used buyback previously, so Chessie's death timer is going to be even longer. This is why Chessie just had to buy out practically. As Swindles, yep, gets away, maybe even into Firefly. Now he'll trigger it, and yep, they make a break. They get away from Newbee.
AP was mid-raw animation on the axe when he blinks out of there. And for Complexity, so talked about the way they have to approach this fight to kind of split their initiation tools across the 2 core heroes in the Phoenix and the Beastmaster. These are the 2 heroes who win fights for Newbee. So if you can get a lasso on one and a blink call on the other, and then whichever one PA goes on, you kill. You don't have to kill both. You just have to disable both while PA kills off one. I think ideally, it doesn't matter too much which one you kill. Probably you prefer to kill the Phoenix of Kaka. As long as you take out either Phoenix or Beastmaster, and before they use a spell, you can win the fight if you're complex.
Instead of focusing bear.
Yeah, you gotta try and ignore and bypass the bear. But that's why we're talking about blink initiations from an axe and a Batrider against a Radiance bear. Not easy to do.
Yeah, you almost actually need to take out the bear so you can do it. But at that point, here's your initiation. Alright, so mid lane. Range Amelia racks. Newbee, do they feel confident to go up? You can see Complexity, they're trying to curve around sides all the time. Looking for some kind of side opening, but Now Newbee actually split themselves up a little bit. They push How to the top lane, and the other four are waiting for the jump. Tessie's the man who's exposed to the front line. You've still got forced up. Slim gets the call. They want to drag move back in further. The kick actually stopping Caster in the middle of his Icarus dive. Z-Freak also pulling him back, getting the follow-up silence. But the trouble is, top lane. How is already attacking into that melee racks.
They disengage mid while doing damage to the top lane, so Newbee playing very patient, calculated.
That hit from play right that really stopped.
Oh yeah,
because they would have lost top racks if Newbee got the initiation off.
And I think if Complexity initiate off of that boulder smash, they could have won the fight at mid, but it may have been like we won mid fight, but we lost top rack kind of situation.
Yeah.
Complexity didn't want to engage while the bear was doing what he was up top.
Yeah. Newbee would be very happy if they take the top racks for a couple of heroes death. You currently have a 22k advantage in gold and about like 8.5k worth of experience. You're looking very, very calm, collective, and in control of this game. And they don't need to make the mistakes. That was something which has been happening in their games yesterday. Maybe over the night too, they just talk to each other and say, you know what, let's just chill out, let's just calm down.
And the scariest thing is you've got 5 heroes who are all going to be late game impact, like all going to have late game impact. Your 2 supports are both sitting on 12k and 15k net worth.
Got to go top. Okay, maybe someone could also kill off Hal. Swindle. Yep, he's gonna find him. Hal's up. Oh no! Oh boy! Swindle's like blinked just a little bit too far to the side. He didn't hit the flame break. He did the last 2, and the Savage Roar kept him out.
It's been kind of the story of this game. Swindle's just slightly missing these initiations. It's not the first time we've seen it, and now it's hand skin. Yeah, that's a freebie.
Oh boy. Complexity. That one moment, if they killed off the lone Druid, they'd have some breathing room. They may have actually felt confident enough to push out, but now there's no IO for 50 seconds. You do have that Satanic over on Chessie, so with sustain in the fight, it's going to be better, and in 30 seconds time he can fight back, but for now, Water gets the scope on the stand, Lift's in trouble, the kick, tries to buy space, able to do so, but the EMP burn, that damage is enough. Chessie's still going for the bear, but with the Nova going down, Chessie falling quickly, Swindle's will die, and now they're down, Swindle can't get the initiation, the bear's even surviving, secondary Nova, Complexity, watch a burn right now, they're just going to die, KP's on the back of Swindle's running him into the face. You've lost your mid-racks, your top will die as well. And Complexity, they got 1 foot in the grave and they're basically climbing in as well. Chessie needs to but right everything's getting bashed up by the bear. Entangled as well, controlled. The Nova is out, Sean surviving while the rest of Complexity is 3 men on Sean right now and they still can't kill the man. Parker, even he's having fun. They can't find a damn kill until now Sean will finally die. Moose also, do they have revealed? No, Moose hiding in the tree line. Crit's not even there. Flame break too late. They may get a kill off the bear. No, that's not even possible. Your Meg
hasn't scouted him.
Oh.
They're pinging him.
Do they know?
Yeah.
Okay, Swindle's got the gem. They'll kill Moose. It's a consolation.
Moose might get a kill here.
Right now, will he? Yeah, he does. And Flame breaks out. No way. He doesn't get more than that. The Flame break will take him out.
Mega creeps. Everyone has buybacks. You're not worried about, if you're Newbee, about losing much here. At most, you have to use 1 buyback on an Invoker, but COL are going to push out so incredibly slow. They had to commit a PA buyback. There is realistically no way back for Complexity at this point here, other than some miraculous play. And there's tier 2 towers to go through. Newbee won't even have to use a single buyback, it looks like.
You don't even care about tier 2s, tier 3s or not. Fortification as well. You save all your money.
Hal does have no bear, it looks like, which is a bit of a problem, actually.
30 seconds on cooldown.
He'll have only 1 bear, too, which means... Okay, so bit problematic. Possible Invoker buyback to be forced.
This actually has to be it. Like, Swindles will BTM when the time is right. He's farming up the remainder of his Lincoln Spear at the moment, so he can come and join the fight. But Complexity, they need to be able to open up these tier 4 towers, or find some kind of opening on a hero.
Oh, if Invoker can hold on to his buyback.
Here's the TP, they're coming forward. Swindles forward, they find the kill over on KP. He's down for 72 seconds, but buyback is available. Complexity may just be happy with his opponent, however, picking up the Phantom Assassin. Where is your attack? There's no PKP over on this PA. She doesn't have any kind of immunity, and now you're actually losing 2. That should be the game right there. 2 heroes down for 2 minutes, a big pause, and you don't have any rack. You're Megan, and that is the game. Newbee will take game number 1 up against Complexity here in the best of 3 lower bracket first final. Not really sure what happened
just Jesse's BKB at the end now. Just look at him like, oh, he doesn't have a BKB, but either way, they were in a desperate position up against Mega Creeps. Newbee just team fought so incredibly well. They had too many answers to like the PA as well as the initiation. Every single time we saw a Bat attempt to blink lasso in or the Axe blink call,